you're going to get like 4 likes. 3 of them are going to be real estate agents, and one of them's going to be your mom. And that's just the truth.
All right, gang, welcome back to another episode of the Tactical Agent Podcast. I am Mike, this is Chris, and today we are going to pretend that you walked into our office and said, I just got licensed. I've got 3 months that I need you to help me for 3 months. Your first 90 days in real estate. What would we say firing off from the hip? You ready?
I'm ready.
I'm ready too. We realized we hadn't recorded enough podcasts. We try to record these and have some in the bank, and then we're not so good at doing that consistently. I think
we say we try, but do or do not, right?
Yes, do or do not. And we've done a couple of times. We've definitely like two times maybe, like put like 4 or 5 in the bank, and then it's nice. It's very nice when that happens, because it's like, oh, okay, set it and forget it. You know, the producer just spits out an episode to us every Monday for me to upload. And this morning the producer's like, hey guys, you have a podcast for me to edit? Because, you know, you pay me for this. We're like, oh yeah, maybe we should do that. Here we are. And so as soon as we popped into the studio, I just said, I'll tell you exactly what I did. I went on YouTube. I searched new real estate agent, because I was like, okay, what kind of things are people searching for when they're brand new? And the top viewed agent was your first 30 days in real estate. The top video, it was like 800 some thousand views. Your first 30 days. So I'm like, all right, 30 days is one thing. Well, what about 90 days? What if you had like a 3-month run? I tend to think in terms of quarters, not in terms of months. Because I think we tend to overestimate what we can do in 30 days and underestimate what we can do in longer time frames. So 90 days is a really good, like, put your head down, run after it, and then evaluate. I think that's me. Do you agree or disagree?
I know you're gonna be surprised by this, but I agree.
Oh wow, that's cool. We gotta find stuff. We gotta have like an episode where we like fight about something, where we disagree. I guess
we can talk about how much The Office sucks if you want one day.
Oh my gosh, yeah, we could fight about that for sure. All right, so what we did was I searched that up. I was like, all right, let's do 90 days. And as soon as Chris popped into the studio here, I said, all right, listen, here's the deal. Somebody walks into your office and says, I just passed my test. I'm good to go. I can start helping people with real estate. I got 90 days for you to pour into me. What are you doing? You know, what's that first 90 days look like? And you told me 3 things. I added a 4th. So we'll talk about these things. Number 1, you said get comfortable with letting people know what you do, but without being a salesy douchebag. So tell me how does someone go about letting people know what they're doing without being a salesy douchebag?
You just talk to people, and people get so worked up over, you know, just having conversations. They're so afraid that they're going to offend somebody or disappoint somebody or come across as salesy to somebody. And the truth is, if you're just talking to people that you already know, like, and trust, they are your friends, they are your family, they're people that care about you. They want to help you. It makes them feel good to help you. So when you ask them for help and you have communication with them about getting help, you're giving them an opportunity to do something that they enjoy. Now, I'm not saying call everybody and be like, hey, I just got my real estate license. Can you want to buy or sell your house? Can you do all that stuff? No, you have a conversation with people. And while you're having that conversation, we call them a frog conversation. I think we did an episode on that. We should have if we didn't. Probably. But when you're having that frog conversation and you're just talking to somebody, asking them about their mom and them and seeing how everybody's doing, and oh, well, what are you up to, Chris? Oh, I just got my real estate license. I'm trying to get started. Oh, really? Well, tell me about that. How's that going so far? You just go into a natural conversation about what you're doing with real estate. And then at the end of that conversation, if you have already invested in the relationship you have. Now, you don't do this if it's somebody you haven't talked to in 2 years, but if it's somebody that you have a normal, regular relationship with, you're like, yeah, hey, speaking of that, can you help me with it? Oh, sure, man. What can I do? I'm not looking to sell anything. Oh, no problem. I'm just looking for people like you, because you're the kind of person I want to work with when it comes up, when it's time to do real estate. I want to work with more people who are like you. So, like, who do you know that might be looking to do something like that? Or can you introduce me to somebody that's looking to buy or sell? However you word it. But it's super powerful, and people want to help you.
Yeah, there seems to be the first hill that people feel like they have to climb, or mountain they have to climb, or whatever, is like, okay, now I got my license. How do I announce it to the world? And normally the context that people are thinking about this in is like social media, right? Like I go on my Facebook, and we try to counsel the people that we coach not to just post something that says, hey, I have my real estate license, so I would love to help, you buy or sell, or if you know anybody looking to buy, sell, invest, have them reach out to me, right? Like, that's this sort of like salesy douchebag vibe that we're talking about, right? And a lot of people are nervous about coming off as salesy because they know that they are, right? And that's how you avoid that, is just don't be that way then. And a lot of people are like, well, I don't know, how else do I do it? And you already kind of hit the nail on the head, right? Like, you got to just be comfortable being yourself, right? It's got to be just authentic. And so there's no one right way to announce to the world that you're now a licensed real estate agent. There's no like, okay, here's what you say, because what you're going to say could vary, because there's only one you, right? Like, you got to be yourself. I could announce in any number of ways. Like, you could put up like on Facebook, you know how they have the background colors and you can just type words in there? I would just put one word, sex. And then like the cat, and then in the comments, like, you just put it there, right? That's it. No other explanation, no nothing. And then my comment on my own post would be, now that I have your attention, guys, I just want to let you know I got my real estate license. And so, hey, if any, that could be a funny way to do it. Like, that just popped into my head, like, while we're talking, right? Like, because that's just how my brain works. This is how I operate. But that's real to me. So I would never tell somebody that walked into my door saying, oh, you do the sex post. What? Like, that could be disastrous for you, right? Because if that's not you, then you're not being genuine. And so you just got to get comfortable with letting people know what you do with some level of authenticity, right? Like,
right.
Just be genuine. I've told other people, like, well, how does getting your real estate license make you feel? And then just say that. Are you nervous? Are you excited? What emotions come to mind? Because people will remember feelings more than they'll remember facts.
Absolutely.
So just get comfortable. Number 2, you said develop key business relationships with other people who live and die by referrals. So talk to me about that.
Yeah, so I would get a pen and a piece of paper, because I'm old school like that, and I would go stand in my front yard, and I would stare at my house, and I would look at every single part of my house that might one day need to be fixed in some way, shape, or form. And I would walk around the entire outside, and I would write down every person I would need to fix every part of that. Not the individual person, but like the role. And then I would walk inside my house. I'd do the same thing. So, trim guys, plumbers, carpenters, roofers, solar, garage door guys, driveway sealers, landscape people. I would write down all these different positions. And then I would find people that I knew that could fill that need, and I would write their name beside it. And then if I found one that was blank, I would go meet somebody that I liked and that did a good job. and I would write their name in that blank. And then I would call those people once a month. I would talk to them. I would send them referrals. I would take them to lunch. I would treat them like kings. And I would do everything I could to help them grow their business. Mm-hmm. And I would ask, and in return, I would just say, hey, look, I know that I can find a lot more people needing landscape than you can find people buying or selling houses. I understand that. I don't expect you to return things one-to-one to me. But I think you and I are partners in this. I'm going to do everything I can to help you. You do everything you can to help me. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, and let's go make some money together.
Yes.
And those kind of people are people who live and die by referral, just like you. So they will understand the value in it, and they will reciprocate as best they can. Now, if you have somebody and you're doing that with, and you're giving them everything you can, and they're not returning that favor, I'm not saying don't be friends with them, but take them off that list. They're not one of your VIPs. Mm-hmm. And you keep doing that until you have a list of, you can probably find 100 different tradespeople on houses that you could fill out. And if you have those 100 people sending you one deal a year, you're rich.
Yeah, I think this is probably the number one thing that real estate agents sleep on.
Yeah.
I see so many people struggling to get leads, and they'll drop thousands of dollars on leads to struggle through, to grind, and come up with a client here or a client there. And that's fine, right? Like we've said it before in the show, like if sales is your thing and you really you love the thrill of cold calling and cycling through all those calls or door knocks or whatever it is. If you love that, then you know what? Godspeed. Have fun with it. Like that's cool. Everything will work if you work it. But you want to talk about a way to lay a foundation of your business, connecting and networking with other referral-based businesses, dude. I mean, with the average full-time real estate agent doing what, like 5 or 6 deals a year, you find 25, 50 or more referral partners that you're championing their business and sending people to them at every turn that you possibly can, and just simply being open and honest and saying, hey, what you can send me, I'll take. I'll appreciate it. And you develop a partnership, oh my gosh, dude, right? Like developing a vendor-partner relationship, a vendor-partner list, and people love recommending good people. And so there's so many birds that you're killing with one stone when you put out there like, hey, who do you know in this? I'm looking to grow a vendor partner list with trusted people to refer out to my clients. People that grows your awareness and the people around you's awareness that you're in the business. It shows them that you're valuing growing other people as well. Just so many benefits to this, and people are sleeping on it, man. Sleeping on this because, oh my gosh.
And two, I mean, like, it's another contact point for your clients. You have a client that tells you they just renovated their bathroom. Oh, how did the contractor do? Oh, that's awesome. They did a good job. Were they reasonably priced? Did they do what they say they were going to do? Did you like them on a personal level? Perfect. Why don't you introduce me to them? Because I like you and I want to meet people that you like. And then that's how you fill your list. You validate your client. You make them feel good because you trust them. And then that deepens your relationship with them. They introduce you to somebody, and you teach them how to introduce you. You teach them to do the triangle of trust, which we talked about in another episode. They introduce you. The contractor automatically trusts you because they liked your client too. And you develop that relationship, and you go from there. And people really, really drop the ball on this. I can't tell you the number of other real estate agents that call me on a regular basis to ask me, hey, do you know somebody that does this? Hey, do you know somebody that does this? Hey, do you know somebody that does this? Yeah, I do. Here you go. And I make sure that person knows, hey, I know another real estate agent's calling you. I sent them your way. Go ahead and get your money.
Yep. Yeah, that's brilliant. Okay. Number 3, you said develop a social media strategy. Without being a salesy douchebag. I think you added that to all. And any of these points you could just add without being a salesy douchebag at the end. Okay, so, how can we alleviate the mystery because that could be really daunting to people who are like, I'm not a social media guy. Like
Right.
especially coming like with our 10-7 project, we deal with a lot of cops that and other public safety professionals that they have been in the habit of kind of hiding on social media or hiding who they are on social media for good reason. But if you're going to do this business, you got to kind of like open yourself up to connections and relationships. And social media is one of it's kind of like the water we swim in, right? Like, can you do it without? Yes, you can. But this is a different animal, a different challenge if you're going to do that. But how would you advise them to develop a strategy?
Well, first of all, I would be honest on a personal level. You and I talked about this the other day. Like we can give you a strategy on how to be successful in social media, like a loose blueprint. But if you really paid attention to what you and I do on social media, we don't follow it because we have developed.
Right.
You and I have a lot of experience with social media. We've had the huge audiences. We know exactly how to trigger our audience and get engagement. And we can kind of make it do what we want it to do. That's not a skill that everybody has. You have to develop it over years of tracking the trends and some other things. So we've put together a strategy that shows you the loose basis that you can follow to find success in social media. But the key to that success among or above everything else is authenticity. You be who you are on social media. Don't try to pander to everybody. Don't try to be as much to as many people as you possibly can, because that never works. You come across as inauthentic. You come across as a salesy douchebag. I never talk about real estate. You will never see me post on real estate, hey, take a look at this open house I'm doing. Because nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what you may see me do is do an open house and talk about the people that I'm doing an open house for, and talk about the neighborhood, and talk about like what's going on, current events, or, a really cool feature on the house, even though I don't, it has to be a really cool feature. Like I've done a couple houses where they had hidden rooms.
Yeah.
I'd do something about that because that's something that people would care about. But if it's just like, hey, look at this closet. It's such a nice closet. Nobody cares about that. Why would you do a post like that? You're going to get like 4 likes. 3 of them are going to be real estate agents, and one of them's going to be your mom. And
Right.
That's just the truth. So I would just be super authentic. And when you're authentic like that too, you attract people who think like you do and who believe what you believe, and who are just a better fit for you when you do find clients through social media. But again, it's all about authenticity.
Yeah, we basically would advise. I would advise somebody that just how they see social media. It's a window into who you are, what you're doing, and why you're doing it. And that's like everything into your life. It's like it's a peek behind the curtain, as it were, right? Like you're not necessarily showing everything about your life. You don't have to, but you can choose to like open the curtains a little bit and let people like see in to what it is that you're doing, and more importantly, why you're doing it. You just got to be authentic, and when you got to understand, like in a lot of ways, social media is the whole purpose of it is not to draw attention to yourself. It's to give people what they're looking for. And be yourself in the process. We're not ever saying pretend to be something you're not, or sacrifice your character or your values to get attention on social media. Never, never, never do that. But you have to understand people aren't going on to Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or wherever they're at. They're not going on there to be like, all right, I'm going to go scroll on the internet so that I can go buy or sell a house. Like that's not what they're, or, oh, I want to go on TikTok so that I can find out what real estate agent I can send referrals to. No, they're not thinking that, right? They're there for themselves. They're there for mostly mindless entertainment, and what stops that scroll is something that makes them feel something, whether it's something that's going to make them laugh, make them cry, make them think, make them angry, make them happy, right? Like where your authenticity meets their needs and desires of why they're there in the first place, that creates a connection. That connection then is an opportunity for connecting with them in conversation, or to build a real world relationship off of that.
And in terms of talking about your first 90 days, the most powerful posts, like, it's so funny. We have, how many people do we have that just come in and they type, "I'm a real estate agent now, send me your referrals," or "I heart referrals," dumb shit like that. So it happens all the time. But every once in a while, we have somebody that pays attention and they listen and they go in and they say, "Hey, I just got my real estate license and I'm feeling super nervous about it. And it's really scary to try something new and step outside of my comfort zone a little bit on doing that. And I really hope I'm going to be successful. I'm going to do everything I can and I'm going to try really hard." And when those posts come out, those people see more engagement on their social media than they have ever seen in their life. Because, and their mind's blown. They're like, "I can't believe I got like 200 likes and like 75 comments, and I've never seen anything even remotely close to that on my social media." And it's like, it's because you showed them who you are, and you showed them that you're scared and you're nervous, and you showed them how you feel, and that means something to people.
Yep, I agree. Number 4, and we'll wrap it up with this. We mentioned this in connection with number 1. It's related, but have frog convos every single day. If you're going to have one habit, it's make sure that you have these intentional frog convos every single day. Now, what is that abbreviation? FROGG. I've added a G recently, so
updated the frog conversation.
Yeah, frogs. They are this family, and we didn't come up with this, right? Like,
we stole
it. Yeah, you maybe heard of Ford conversations, same thing. Like, but frog, family, recreation, occupation, goals and dreams, and then the last G is geography. Okay, so those are all points of conversation. These are the things that you can connect to people in conversation on, right? And it's not an assembly line. It's not a, you don't have to like start with family and end with goals and dreams. And you also don't have to talk about every single one of those things. And you can start anywhere with any of them, right? Whatever is natural. These are natural conversations, but there's an intention to it. You are going to talk to people about their family, how they're doing, their recreation, like their hobbies that you may share in common or that they have, their occupation, the job, right? All this stuff. You're going to talk about those things naturally, but also with a high level of intentionality. And what is the intentionality? Is listening in that conversation for ways that you can invest in the relationship, ways that you can move that relationship down the road. Right? So if you have a really intentional conversation, you should always come away with that conversation knowing when and why you will talk to them again. And or how can I serve this person?
Right.
With word, deed, gift. We've talked about this before in the CIA. So if you're not familiar with that, like we have the book, The Tactical Agents, that covers it, or we have past episodes that we talk about this. About investing in people. And so how do I know if I've had an intentional frog combo? I have something that I need to follow up with. I have the next conversation in the calendar and in my CRM of when I'm going to talk to them and what I need to talk to them about next and how I can serve them, right? What needs do they have that I can meet? And if that means connecting them with a vendor like we talked about, another referral partner, great. If it means dropping a meal off, if it means giving them a gift card, if it means just calling them on an important day of an event that they've got going on and seeing how it went, it could be any of those things. But this is something that is just the non-negotiable. If you don't have these every day, you cannot develop a funnel of business. So every single day. Now, how many of these do you have to have? That's going to depend on your goals. But I would be having someone that walked into my office saying, what do I do for the next 90 days? That would be it. And if they did nothing else for 90 days, that would be it. They would have these intentional conversations.
Yeah. I want to re-highlight what you said about the fraud conversation not being, a bullet point. This is not something where you go, okay, we talked about family, check. We talked about recreation, check. We talked about occupation, check. Because if somebody tells you, if you start asking, oh, how's your family? Oh, my mom just passed away yesterday. Why would you come back and say, hey, I'm really sorry to hear that, but how's work?
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, you got any good vacations planned? No, that makes no sense. Have a conversation with somebody, and if you hear something like, oh, my mom just died, I'm really sorry to hear that. How are you feeling? What can I do for you? How can I help? I know there's nothing I can say to make it better, but what can I do, to lift a burden off of you, whatever. And do what you can to authentically invest and help that person, and then forget about everything else.
Yeah, exactly. Because the purpose is to connect and to invest. The growth of your business is a result of doing the right things for the right reasons.
Right.
And, can you grow a business being a salesy douchebag who only wants money? Yes, you can. Yes, you absolutely can. You can achieve your financial goals that way. Absolutely can. But is that the kind of business you want to grow? Or do you want to grow a business with people that you know, like, and trust, and they know, like, and trust you, and it's relatively stress-free because you know that you're doing things for the right reasons with the right people? That's that would be a question I would ask somebody coming into the office. What kind of business do you want? And I'd probably send them out of the office if they want to be the salesy douchebag because I can't help you with that. Yeah, exactly. Well, what would you guys add to the list for the first 90 days? Drop it in the comments. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can find out more about our mission to help 10,000 first responders and military veterans accomplish their goals in the real estate business, to help them start and grow a real estate business to make them succeed. We say we want to help 10,000 heroes take better vacations. You can find out more at the 107project.com, TEN7project.com. And even if you're not one of those things, but you believe in that kind of mission, the more the merrier. We can work with you in that case. You can join what we're doing. You can help us accomplish the mission, even if that's not you. That's okay. We're trying to help 10,000 of these people, but we're inviting anybody that wants to help us on that mission, join us. And you can be a part of it. And you get the same complete proven system and approach that we have, the same teamwork mentality that we offer. Anyway, you can find out more there. And if we're on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, hit that follow button, the subscribe, and keep us encouraged there. And we're going to stay the course and keep putting out content. And if you have a topic that you want to hear us talk about, hey, send us a message or drop that in the comment on the YouTube and subscribe there too. All right. That's it.
We did it.
We did it. Goodbye.